So we have completed these much aphorisms. Now the further aphorism which is related to the unprejudiced observer. In the fifth aphorism we have seen the exciting cause is responsible for the acute disease, fundamental cause is responsible for the chronic disease. We have seen sora, syphilis and psychosis. So functional problems are related to sora, overgrowth is related to psychosis, and destruction is related to the syphilis. So these are the objects that we have to cure because these are the obstacle of the cure. To make a portrait of the disease, we should know the cause of the disease. And we have stopped here, no? That is a physical general. So physical general covers all the things from the head to foot. That is the appetite, thirst, natural emanations, lacrimation from the eye, or dryness in the throat. All these things which are related to your body in general, they are under physical generals. So with that, we have to ascertain physical constitution of the patient in the chronic diseases. So these points which are given in this aphorism number, they are the additional points you have to ask in the chronic disease or in the uh, chronic miasm case. So what is the first? That is his moral, his intellectual character, how he is behaving, what he thinks about his disease, how he is behaving during his disease, how he is moral. So all these things should be taken into the consideration while you are taking the history of chronic disease. Second, his occupation, because the certain occupational diseases are there in the society. If you are ask the patient to leave that job because this causes the disease, then that patient can feel better. So second thing is that the certain patients are having a sedentary life, and because of the sedentary life the certain diseases are there. For example, he may have a constipation, he may have piles, he may have fissures, fistula. Second thing is that if his working is continuously, his work or the the form of work in that where he is standing continuously, so he may have diseases like sciatica, he may have a lumbago, he may have the spondylitis. So depending upon the occupation, that the person is having the disease, and that's why we have to ask his occupation. Then mode of living and habits, how he is living, where he is located, depending upon that the nature of that person is formed. If it is living in a very high class society, the habits of that person is like that, and that person may immune um, the immunity power of that person may be the higher than the other, or it may be that the immunity power of that person is very low. So depending upon the mode of living and the habits, we can judge that patient. If that person is living in a slum area, he may have the diseases like that. The person is living in a very high class society, he may have the diseases like that. Plus habits also, the habits are also different according to the mode of living. His social and domestic relations, that is again important. If the relationships are not good, अगर आपकी friendship बुरे लोगों से है, so you will behave like that. If your relations are good, you will behave good in this society. Your domestic relations कैसे है, आप अपने घर में कैसे behave करते हो with your mother, father, with your children, with your spouse, with your daughter, with your son, with your grand child. So all these relations are making your mental state. So किसी के साथ अच्छा बिहेव करना, किसी के साथ बुरा बिहेव करना, किसी के प्रति पहले से ही एक काय म्हणतो आपण त्याला मराठीत की वी आर कीपिंग जज वी आर जजमेंटल. कोणाच्या तरी बाबतीत आपण आधीच पूर्वग्रह करून ठेवतो. So that makes your personality. Then his age, of course it is important. Sexual functions, all these things should be considered while you are taking a history of a chronic miasm. So miasm कैसे develop होता है? Since childhood. and then it starts developing. The mentality of that person is changing according to his environment surrounds him, according to his intellectual character, according to his occupation, according to his mode of living, उसके आजू बाजू में लोग कैसे हैं, all these things वो पर्सनालिटी एक बनाती है. So not only the physical constitution but also the mental constitution is important in the chronic cases. When you will take a chronic case, आपको ये additional points लेने हैं. क्यों लेने हैं? क्योंकि आपके आजू बाजू में जैसा environment है, जैसा आपका occupation है, आपकी वैसी ही personality बनती जाएगी. The mental constitution will form. वैसे ही आप बिहेव करोगे इन द सोसाइटी एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट द फिजिशियन विल कैलकुलेट द माइजम. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ दैट पर्सन इज अ सोरिक पेशेंट, देन दैट द मेंटल स्टेट कैसी रहेगी सोरा पेशेंट की? दैट पेशेंट इज calm and quiet. He will always think, but he will not do the action. He will sit quietly. He will not quarrel with the other. Yes, inside his mind, he is कंटिन्यूअसली थिंकिंग. अंदर उसके बहुत ज्यादा झगड़ा चालू रहेगा, मैं ये करूँ ना करूँ वो करूँ. फॉरगेटफुल रहेगा पेशेंट, लेकिन कोई भी चीज को डिस्ट्रक्ट नहीं करेगा. इंटेलेक्चुअली वो इंटेलिजेंट रहेगा, उसका आईक्यू भी अच्छा रहेगा, बट टू टेक सम एक्शन वो नहीं ले पाएगा. उसके मोरल्स भी बहुत अच्छे रहेंगे एंड द मोड ऑफ लिविंग हैबिट्स उसके बहुत अच्छे रहेंगे. ही विल बिहेव सोशली एंड डोमेस्टिकली वेरी गुड मैनर. लेकिन अंदर वो घुटता रहता है, बिकॉज ही कैनॉट शो हिज एक्सप्रेशंस, ही कैनॉट गिव अ प्रॉपर रिस्पॉन्स. द पेशेंट, अगर छोटा बच्चा है तो वो फॉरगेटफुल उसमें रहेगा, बड़ों में भी फॉरगेटफुल रहेगा, बट अगेन द शेड्स आर डिफरेंट. तो दिस इज सोरिक पेशेंट. साइकोटिक अगर है, सो साइकोटिक सोचता कम है और एक्शन ज्यादा करेगा. ही विल ब्रेक दैट थिंग, वो बुक्स फेंक देगा या कोई भी चीज है उसके हाथ में वो फेंक देगा व्हेन ही इज एंग्री, या फिर जब वो इरिटेबल हो जाएगा तब. एंड साइकोटिक पेशेंट भी वैसे ही करेगा. सो दीज साइकोटिक एंड लेकिन सिफिलिटिक पेशेंट जो रहेगा वो और उसके आगे होता है. सो क्रिमिनल्स जो है दे आर ऑल अंडर द सिफिलिटिक माइजम. And hence we have to take all these points. कौन से? The moral, intellectual character, occupation, habits, social and domestic relation, age, sexual functions. These all should be considered when you are taking a chronic case. So in the aphorism number 5, Dr. Hahnemann has given the causes of the disease plus certain extra points that you have to be considered while you are taking chronic case. In the aphorism number 6, he has given about the unprejudiced observer. So, who is the unprejudiced observer? So, we know the certain qualities of unprejudiced observer. He should not be a judgmental. He should not form his own thinking without any interrogation. पहले पेशेंट को पूरा उसको एग्जामिन करना है विदाउट हैविंग एनी इंटेंशन इन हिज माइंड. पहले से अगर आपको कोई चीज पता है पेशेंट की तो वो आपको माइंड में नहीं रखना है. अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द पेशेंट यू हैव टू गिव द मेडिसिन. सो ही शुड बी वेल अवेयर ऑफ फ्यूटिलिटी ऑफ ट्रांसडेंटल स्पेकुलेशन. उसको पता होना चाहिए कि द स्पेकुलेशंस जो है दे विल नॉट बी हेल्पफुल फॉर द कंफर्मेशन ऑफ द केस. he should not confirm the case, he should not confirm the disease on the basis of transdental speculations, but he should be by the experience. Experience उसको कैसे आएगा? By his power of penetration so great and take the note of nothing in every individual disease. तो उसने पूरे sign and symptoms अच्छे से collect करने चाहिए related to the body and related to the mind without being a judgmental. He should pursue external signs by his all 5 senses. He should know what is the healthy state and now what is the disease individual. Then all these perceptible signs of the disease he should take into the account in his whole extent, which will give the convenient portrait of the disease. So अगर वो पहले से ही अगर मन में कुछ सोच के रखता है कि ये पेशेंट मुझे मार्केट में दिखा था एंड ही इज वॉकिंग लाइक दिस, दैट मीन्स ही इज हैविंग द इंजुरी इन द लेग, तो उसको इंजरी ना भी हो सकती है, ही मे हैव द साइटिका, या फिर उसकी चप्पल टूट गई हो. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ हिज ओनली बाय द प्रिव्हियस पूर्वग्रह जो असतो त्याच्यानुसार जर तुम्ही मेडिसिन देत असाल, सो दिस इज नॉट द वे ऑफ ट्रीटिंग द पेशंट. बरेच वेळा आपल्याकडे आपले नातेवाईक पण येतात मेडिसिन घ्यायला, अँड वी नो देअर नेचर, की हाऊ ही इज बिहेविंग और शी इज बिहेविंग इन द सोसायटी. बट unless and until you are not taking his proper case, ही बाई किंवा तो माणूस असा वागतो सोसायटीत, किंवा ही माझ्याशी अशी वागते and that's why I'm giving the medicine, this should not be your attitude. When you are sitting on that chair as a physician, तुम्ही त्याची पूर्ण केस घेऊन त्याचा स्वभाव कसा आहे, हा तो कसा वागतोय, दॅट इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टंट, बिकॉज एव्हरी पर्सन इज बिहेविंग डिफरंटली विथ द एव्हरी इंडिव्हिज्युअल. I will behave with you differently, I will behave with the first year student differently, and I will behave with my colleagues differently, and totally my behavior will be changed when I will talk with my parents, right? I will shout on you, I will more shout on the first year student. I will not shout with my colleague, and I will never shout on my parents. So the nature will be different when you are behaving with the different person. जैसे सिचुएशन आती है वैसे हम लोग बिहेव करते हैं, कि if my nature is, if it is I am having a crying tendency, but I will not cry 24 hours. कब आंखों में पानी कब आता है? whenever there is a emotional condition. तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं वो पर्सन हमेशा 24 hours रोते ही रहेगा. So according to the situation, according to the person, we are changing our behavior. सो वो पर्सन का अगर आपको पता है कि उसका स्वभाव ऐसा है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई एम गिविंग द मेडिसिन डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हिज मेंटल स्टेट, दिस इज अ बिग मिस्टेक you are doing while you are treating that patient at that disease condition. How he is behaving, what is a proper nature of that person, that is important. वो इसके साथ कैसे करता है, उसके साथ कैसे करता है, वो आपके मन में बिल्कुल नहीं आना चाहिए. द पेशेंट विच इज गिविंग द हिस्ट्री टू यू, और हिज फ्रेंड और द रिलेटिव्स, या जो भी अटेंड कर रहा है उसके साथ पर्सन, उससे भी आप केस ले सकते हो, एंड देन यू विल गेट द रियल पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ द डिजीज. अगर आप ऐसा करोगे, देन ओनली यू विल बी अ अनप्रेजुडाइज्ड ऑब्जर्वर. If that person is quarreling outside with the other patient in your chamber, can you can you label that person as a quarrelsome? No, because why he is quarreling, he may have a certain reason behind that. वो शांत हो सकता है, लेकिन because of some reason वो कुछ तो भी हुआ होगा उनके. This is not कि that person is a quarrelsome. एक ही चीज पे आप उसको लेबल नहीं कर सकते हो. यू कैन नॉट जज अ पर्सन, यू हैव टू टेक. हाँ, quarrelsome वो हो सकता है व्हेन यू आर गेटिंग द सर्टन पॉइंट्स. वो अगर आपको कुछ उसको बातें बोलता है, या फिर ड्यूरिंग द एग्जामिनेशन यू ऑल्सो फील दैट कि ना दिस पेशेंट इज quarrelsome, देन ओनली लेबल दैट पर्सन एज अ quarrelsome. एक ही इसमें विदाउट एनी एक्सपीरियंस, विदाउट एनी ऑब्जर्वेशन, इफ यू आर and treating that person as a quarrelsome and giving the medicine like Naxomin or Ignatia, then that will be a judgmental. So you should be a unprejudiced observer while you are taking the case. Your senses should be proper, cognizable senses जो है they should be proper, so that you can take the proper case history and you will be a unprejudiced observer. Now in the aphorism 7, again he has given the exciting and maintaining cause which is helpful for the totality of the symptom. So in the aphorism number 7, 8, 17 and 18, we have discussed previously. They have given about the totality of the symptom. So what is the totality of the symptom? It is the outwardly reflected picture of the internal deranged vital force. Vital force deranged हो गया है, it is manifested outwardly reflected picture of internal essence of the disease. और disease यानी क्या? That is the derangement of vital force. So outwardly reflected यानी outward जो reflect हो रहा है, क्या रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है? द इंटरनल इसेंस ऑफ द डिसीज, यानी डिसीज की मैनिफेस्टेशंस जो रहेंगे, it will be reflected out in the form of signs and symptoms. That is nothing but, and जब आप sign and symptoms, when you are making a sum of it, that is known as the totality of the symptoms. So you are nothing but making a total of all the symptoms, but that symptoms should be characteristics, that symptoms should be peculiar, that symptoms should be uncommon. Then only that totality will help you to select the medicine. If you are taking common symptoms, that common symptoms will help you in the diagnosis of that particular disease. So in the aphorism number 7, the importance is given to the totality of the symptom, and this is the sole means by which you can get the remedy. This is given. In the aphorism number 8 also, it is given that okay, this is convincible. This is very much important thing to collect the characteristic uncommon symptom. If you are collecting the entire signs and symptoms of the disease, which are of no useful, if it is a common, then this will not be a totality of the symptom. When a patient has cure of his disease by a true physician in a such a manner that no trace of the disease, no morbid symptom remain, and all the signs of health should be permanently returned. Without offering an insult to a common sense, affirm in such an individual the whole bodily disease still remains anterior. नहीं, हमको कैसे रिमूव करना है? इट शुड बी परमानेंटली रिमूव, वहां पे कुछ भी ट्रेस नहीं रहना चाहिए. तो ये कब होगा? whenever you are removing the disease on the basis of totality of the symptoms. In the ninth aphorism, or from, we can say that from the aphorism number 9, we have started the certain qualities of the vital force. So in the aphorism number 1, we have seen mission. In the aphorism number 2, we have seen the highest ideal of cure. In the aphorism number 3, we have seen the knowledges of physician. In the 4, how the physician is the preserver of health. In the 5th, we have seen the different causes of disease, and in the 6th, we have seen the unprejudiced observer. 7th and 8th, they are related to the totality of the symptoms. Now in the 9th, 10th aphorism, Dr. Hahnemann has given the importance to the vital force. What are the properties, what are the qualities of the vital force? So that vital force is spiritual, that vital force is automatic. He rules in our body with the unbounded sway. He runs all the vital operations smoothly, harmoniously. Then he is having a reason gifted mind. He, because of all these things, he is doing all the sensations and functions very nicely, and that's why we are healthy. That's why we are in health. If that vital force is deranged, then this will lead to the disease. So the vital force in health is explained in this further aphorism. So the qualities or this aphorism we will take tomorrow. So I have asked you the 2 questions previously. Give me the answer and then I will give the attendance. Okay.